Hello all, let's have a discussion on 6.5 finding rate or time for compound interest. The learning intention is either to find rate, interest rate, or the time required for that is specific amount to grow to a given amount. Let's have a look at our formula. We know that we have some value V0, and then we are going to grow this to Vn after some number of periods or terms. In this case, R is the interest. That's interest rate. And this is my present value. The value or the amount either I deposit in the bank or I borrow from the bank. And this one, the one on here on the left, is the future value. Right. N, in this case, is the time, or in this case, the periods. If it is monthly, how many months? If it is yearly, how many years? If it is quarterly, how many quarters? We will be given both of these, V0 and Vn, and then we'll be asked either to find the interest rate or the number of periods required. Let's have a look at this example. It says how long. You can see I have bolded this. How long it will take. What it means is it's asking for n. We do not know what the n is, therefore we have to find that. Well, we can either substitute to the formula. We know the present value, PV, in this case PV, present value. That goes out of my pocket. I am going to deposit. Remember this one all, if you deposit something, it goes out of your pocket, which means it will be negative. And then the value here, 3,500, future value, is the value that you get back. So it's positive, it comes to your pocket. And then the interest rate here is 8%. I'm going to guide you how to do this on the financial solver on the CAS. Let me pull that out and then explain two other terms on that calculator. Okay, I'm on the main menu. How do I go? Go to the menu, the general one, and then go to the financial. Can you see the bottom right one here, financial? Now you go in there. I have done some calculations, therefore it saves the values that I did at the last time. Now what you need to do is you can either delete or simply replace these values with your numbers that you're going to come up with. Let's have a look at what it says. So if you don't see this particular interface here, go to the Cal 1, Cal 2, you can see there are different calculators. Pick the one called compound interest. So if I pick that, that's what it gives us. And it will put some numbers, not to worry about that at the moment. Let me explain things. N is very clear. So if you click on N, just in there, and at the value, if you know, just put it there. Now you go into the next one, that's called I. In this case, I mean our interest rate, R. You don't need to type percent there because the percent is already in here. Simply type, in our case, 8. And then I go down using the arrow keys. I want to pull this bit out here. Arrow keys, use the arrow keys to go down and move up. Present value is the value that you're going to deposit is negative 2,000 because it is going out of your pocket. And you go down, or you can either click. PMT, this is a payment. Now in this question, I am going to deposit $2,000 and I'm going to get future value 3,500, which you can type there. but I never get any other payment from the bank in this case. Therefore, I have to set that to 0. So in your calculations for this particular subsection of this chapter, you have to use PMT 0 because we don't get any other payments other than 3,500. So the idea is I put 2,000, it will grow to 3,500. I get it back. That's all. Now the P per year. The payment per year, and C, which is compounded per year. Now you can see in this question, they are the two terms that we want to talk about. It's compounded annually. So compounded annually means once a year. Therefore, my compounded year has to be 1. As well as once the bank calculated interest, it will put onto my account, which means it will be done once a year. So that PY is how many times interest is calculated and added to my account. Hope that's clear. Now, they are the things that you need to remember. Always this PY and CY are exactly the same in these set of questions. If you did compounded monthly, this becomes 12, and payments also 12 because you get 12 interest paid for your account. Now let's go back to my notes and write down PY and CY. You must always write these all 6 before you go to the finance calculator. Okay, what we need to find is the N. So you click on that box and simply click on N. Well, that produced the value 7.27 years. We go back and write down here 7.27. So how do I write down the answer? It will take, well, it is in years, therefore you have to round up and you write down 8 years. Let's have a look at the other question example. Now in this case, again, number of interest bearing periods N. Now we need to find N. Present value 3,600. It is going out of your pocket. Future value 5,100 and interest rate is 7. Now let's have a look at PY and CY. We compound, it's compounded quarterly, so 4. Let's go to the financial calculator and work this out. You can see this is now pretty quick. Soon when you know these figures, simply go to the financial calculator and punch them in. I'm going to delete that. The interest rate is 7. I'm going to replace that with negative 3,600, my present value. No payments, only payment is 5,100. That is the value it goes up to. 4 payments, interest and compounded quarterly 4 times. Now if I go and leave my cursor in that box and click on N, it will becomes 20.07, or in this case 08. So that's 20.08, which means this is in quarters. Hence it takes 21 quarters. You have to round up always. Quarters for this number 3,600 to grow to 5,100. Okay, I think it's very clear. You can even convert this into years. How many quarters a year? 4. You can divide this by 4 and write down there are 5 years and a quarter. So that's my answer. 5 and a quarter years. Let's go to the other question, the last one, where we are going to find the interest rate. Now this is the one with the interest rate. Let's write down the ones that we have. N present value, future value, payments a year, and compounded a year, and R, which I do not know. In your calculator, it's this. Right. What is N? How many periods we got here? 2.5 years, of course, but compounded monthly. Therefore, in 2.5 years, I would have 12 times 2 years, that many months. 2 years times 12 gives you number of months, plus half a year would have 6 months in it. So altogether 30 months. Hence this becomes 30. Present value, well, it's negative $25,000, and future value becomes that. So I need to find the interest rate where $25,000 is going to grow to $40,000 in 2.5 years. Well, how many times I compound? It's monthly. Hence you can say it's 12 and 12 there. Let's go to the financial calculator and work it out. As I mentioned before, once you've written all here, it's quite easy. Punch the value into the calculator, press the button, you get the answer. Also, you need to make sure that you know the values and you're dealing with appropriate terms when you substitute the values. Okay, we know N, it's 30 now, so I can go with the arrow keys and keep either entering the values or deleting. In this case, I need to find R, or the I in this case. Negative 25,000 for present value. No payments except the one at the future, which will be $40,000, and I do 12 times a year. Now if you go and select that box, leave your cursor there, press that button, that gives me 18.95 if you round off to the second decimal. Therefore, interest rate $18.95%. This is per annum, the value that you get per annum. Do you remember that? When we put the values for the interest, we put per annum. So the value that I get here, 18.95, is per annum. Therefore, that's my answer. And we have done 3 examples, including both calculating interest rate and the N, the number of periods, bearing periods. Hope you got that through. Feel free to watch again and then work through these examples. And I think you are off to 6.5. These are the questions that you should be working on now. On that note, I would say happy learning. I'll catch you again soon. Bye for now.